Everybody in this room cares about children and safety, and we know that guns are presenting a very serious problem. You just look at last week, a middle school student in Henrico County brought a handgun to his school, and the week before that, we all know about the 6-year-old who brought a gun and shot his teacher. But this is not a unique situation. The data is clear. Access to firearms are directly correlated with an increased risk for suicide and homicide, and availability of firearms for children is associated with an increased risk of unintentional gun deaths. Though mass shootings make up a small percentage of overall gun deaths, nearly 80% of school shooters under the age of 19 use firearms that they got from their homes or from their neighbors or relatives. This is not new information. According to the Center for Disease Control, between 2011 and 2020, youth gun deaths have increased by 129%. 40% of those were suicide. We know that mental health is a big issue. It would not be any more burdensome than purchasing a car seat. All of us buy car seats for our children when we buy a car and have small children, because we know that it's going to save their life if we have an accident. I did a quick search on Amazon. I found a number of different options that are very affordable, and I'm happy to show this to any of my colleagues who have questions or concerns. This is a data-driven bill. This is a reasonable and proven effective step towards preventing these unnecessary deaths of our children and our teens by requiring adults to be responsible and safely store firearms so that they are not accessible to young children and teens or prohibited persons, just like we just heard from, without knowledge and permission of the gun owner. It also preserves clarity that parents can still allow their children to access firearms for hunting. Just like we all purchase and use car seats for our children, we lock up dangerous medicine in our homes. Let's do this together. I urge you to adopt this common sense measure to save the lives of our children by requiring gun owners to be adults. It is up to us to be the adults and protect our children from harming themselves or others. This is a reasonable thing. It takes nobody's Second Amendment rights away.
Senator Boysko, I understand you want to keep a pistol away from a 6-year-old. I don't think anybody up here would disagree with you. And I don't know if it's still true, but when I was at Parris Island in the Marine Corps, there were people there 17 that had signed waivers to join early. And they were being trained to fight in wars and kill people with very sophisticated weaponry. And they handled it very responsibly. I probably started carrying a shotgun under supervision when I was about 9 years old, and was taught to handle it responsibly. So what's the magic about 18? I mean, they're very responsible people. You can drive a car at 16, and I'd submit that's just as dangerous as a firearm if you want it to be.
Mr. Chair, Senator Stewart, I appreciate the question. We have seen a 40% increase, 129% increase in children under 19 who have died from firearms. 40% of those are from suicide. You can carry, if you have your gun on your person in your possession, that's fine. If you want to sleep with your gun, with your holster, that's fine. But when you wake up and you don't have it on your person anymore, you lock it up. This is common sense, especially if you have somebody who is vulnerable, who is in a bad situation, or you have somebody else in your home, like the gentleman talked about just a few minutes with Senator Favola's bill. These are common sense measures. If you have it on your person and you want to carry it around with you, that's not a problem. The problem is when you are away from it. When you have a child or a teenager who is struggling, we know that brain science, that teenagers do not have fully functioning executive functioning. They do things reactive, they do things impulsively. This is a common sense measure to save lives.